Hello, everybody. My name is Kyle. This is Kyle's Trail Miles, where I talk about all things running and ultra running. Today, I've got hopefully a great episode for you. I'm going to recap a race I did last weekend and talk to you about this idea that I've always found fascinating, where in life or in an area of your life, there are these massive events where there's like a distinct before and after. Usually when it's in your life, obviously it can be either really good or really bad. You know, you win the lottery, there's before that, and then there's after that, right? Two very different parts of your life. And I had that this past weekend in my running journey. There is like, for the rest of my life, I will remember my running as before this event and after this event. And I'll explain that. So, yeah, but first, what I want to do is I just want to say a little, glory toast to the fact that it is, as I'm recording this, is June 11th. Man, today is the first day of freedom. Obviously when you sign up to be a parent and a husband and, a spouse, whatever, there's things that come with it. And I love every aspect of my life. But man, the last 3 months have been stone cold juggernauts. Like every single evening I've been busy from like basically leave work early and then busy. I mean, son's baseball, leave work early to get him to practice by like 4:45. They practice till 6. Game goes till 8:30, and then I come home. I've had projects going on at work, so then I got to catch up in the evening. Daughter's dance, son's band practice, nephew's plays, like wife's work functions, like every single night. I'm not even kidding you. And then when I didn't have something going on, I was running with my buddies, or we were in a race, or like it's been crazy. So anyways, today though, total clean break. Like as of today, last night was our last thing. Son's baseball is done, dance is done, everything is done. A couple projects at work just finished up. Oh, man, I can't even tell you. It's just so, man. Yeah. Okay, let's get into it. So, here's the deal. Like, life is just funny. Okay, I'm just going to tell you what happened. So, last year, I had the best race of my life in the Cactus Coulee Crawl here in Lethbridge. It's a 32-kilometer run in the hills, about 1,000 meters of elevation, but very runnable. The hills are reasonably runnable. Like, it's just a fun race. And last year, I hit lightning in a bottle on that day, and I had the run of my life. I came in 6th out of, 70 people, something like that. And I missed the podium by like 3 minutes, and I really, like, my running ego just blew up after that race. Like I'm like, like this is it. Like I'm going to start podium these races, like, So anyways, and it was a great day. It was a great race. And so, yeah. So fast forward, okay, to this year. I've done obviously a lot of training. I had a great winter of strength training and whatnot. So got in my 70 kilometers most weeks over the winter. Like, so I'm ready. Like it's go time. So I come into this race. I write down all my splits from last year, and I actually wrote them on my leg underneath my pants just so I'd have them. Because, I gotta have them. I gotta know where I'm at. And so leading into the race couldn't have been more perfect. Had a great little like mini training block, like the weeks leading out. Had a marathon, went to the mountains twice. Like really, really great. Weight was down. Like I'm still in that process of getting down to like 159 pounds, but my weight was good going into the race, like 166, which is like a great sort of race weight for me. And eating was on point, felt great, zero niggles. Slept great the week before. I mean, check all the boxes. Like I was green light the whole way on this race. So morning of the race, and then also too, like the race doesn't start until noon. So it's like I get to kind of sleep in, and like it's just everything just green lights this race. And so I'm at the starting line. I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm just geared up. And so, and I know I got to make the first aid station in 35 minutes, and then the second one in an hour and 10. So I'm like, all right, let's go. Like if I'm gonna podium this, I got to get to the front. I don't want to get log jammed behind this Congo line. Let's go. So gun goes off. There's about I don't know, maybe 800 meters, 500 meters of like pavement paths so you can kind of get around people. And then, you know, it's all single track after that. But you can sort of jump around people, like it's not, you know, crazy single track. So I'm like, I am ready to rock. So gun goes off. I got to get to the front. So I'm probably like, it was way busier. That's the other thing too. This year, there was double the amount of people in this race. So I knew, okay, podium, maybe not, because it's attracted some, you know, pretty good competitors. But like, I'm gonna beat last year. Like, I don't know, 3 hours, 3:05. Like, I'm gonna crush my last year. So I come ripping out. I look down at my watch, like I kid you not. I look down at my watch, and I'm running like a 4:20 pace, which is fast. I mean, that's fast for me. Like, that would be like a 165 heart rate. Like I'm going good. I mean, like a 4:45 pace would be like a nice like one high 140s, like low 150s heart rate. But no. I'm ripping, right? So I look down, it's like 4:20, 4:15. I'm like, perfect. Like let's go. Like, this is my year. Feeling great. So I rip. I'm up probably like, I don't know, top 5 at this point. And there's a hill. Well, I've been running hills. I'm ready to run hills. I ran a lot of the hills last year. Like, hills aren't going to stop me. So I go ripping up this hill. You know, I don't know, it's probably 20, 30 meters. Ripping up it. No problem. Feeling great. Following the leaders. I come down. You kind of come down this little thing, and then it's like this little downhill single track. And I'm just flying. Kicking my legs. I feel like Jim Walmsley out there. And I'm following this dude, and just everything is like green light. Like, feeling awesome. Flying. So I get rolling, and I'm probably, I don't know, 10 minutes into this run. Little rolling hills, little up hills, but I'm running them all, like, not slowing down. Like, I'm staying with the lead pack, baby. Like, let's go. So I get probably halfway through that first leg, like 15 minutes into the run. I look down at my watch, and my heart rate's like 167. I'm like, whoa, like what? Average heart rate like 165. Now, for me, I know everybody's a little bit different, but once my heart rate gets into the 160s, like, my days are numbered. Like, I'm on a clock. I'm probably, you know, I can sustain that for, you know, couple hours maybe, but when it crashes, it's done. Whereas, like, if I keep it in the 150s, I can go quite a while, like, you know, 4, 5, 6 hours. And then once I kind of get it down into the low 150s, high 140s, that's where I can, you know, long ultra marathons, I can kind of just sort of like keep rolling. I'm burning enough fat. But anything 160s, come on, it's full glycogen, straight burn, like, it's go time. So I look down and I'm like, ooh, that's not good. Like, what's going on here? Like, how is this possible? So I'm like, okay, so I better kind of slow down. But I can't really slow down because I'm in this sort of group of runners, and I don't want to be that guy who sort of admits, like, well, I came out way too fast. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep this up until I hit the first aid station. Obviously, I'm going to just be crushing my time. Like, I'm probably going to hit it at 30 minutes versus 35 last year because I'm just flying here. So then I'll kind of like figure out, you know, try to bring my heart rate down a bit. So I'm cruising along. I look and I'm like, okay, the aid station's over there. I got about a good 5 minutes before I get there. You kind of got to go round, down, and then up. I look at my watch, 30 minutes. I'm like, the heck? Like, I'm going to be kind of right on time here. And my heart rate is just jacked up through the roof. Like, I'm even hitting 170s, which for me, man, you hit 170s, like, so I'm like, what? So then I'm thinking, well, obviously my Garmin is wrong. Because last year I had an Apple Watch, this year I have Garmin. I'm like, well, obviously my Garmin's wrong. Because my perceived effort didn't feel that much. Like, I felt good. So I'm like, well, come on, Garmin. Like, what are you doing, man? And then I thought, you know, my watch is a little bit loose. Because, between the two watch straps, I got to choose one. And the one is, like, a little bit loose. So I thought, maybe it's picking up my cadence. But my heart rate is actually, like, in the 140s. Obviously, I knew that wasn't the case. But you know what I mean. So I'm like, oh, what do I do here? Like, I got to reach, like, I got to beat last year. I can't, you know. So I'm like, let's go. Like, whatever, man. Let's go. So I just decide, I don't care about my stupid watch or my heart rate. I'm going. Like, let's go. So come ripping through that aid station, and then you kind of come down, and then there's this really cool, like just very barely uphill section, and it's long, it's a kilometer and a half. And I'm just like, this is my time, and I'm going, baby. Heart rate jacked up. Who cares? I'm not even paying attention to heart rate. So I go flying up this thing, and then as I'm coming into the second aid station, I'm like, things are not where I need them to be. Like, my legs are getting noticeably tired. I'm like, this isn't good. So I'm like, no problem. On the third loop, I'll sort of take it easy because the third section is kind of this loopy thing out there, and then you kind of come back. So I thought, I'll kind of like bring it down a bit on that one, and then I'll rip the last two. Bring it down into the 150s, slow down a bit. So I'm like, I got a plan. So I come up through the aid station, and I come ripping through there, fill up my water. I'm gone. I never did check my time there. I should, to see where I would have been compared to last year. But I come down on the third one, and I do slow down. And it's this weird thing where, like, once you slow down, it's like it's just hard to kind of get back up. And so I come down into the valley. I slow down to 5:50, 5:30, 6-minute pace to try to bring my heart rate right down, which I do. And after that, it was like game over. Like I didn't have anything in my legs left. I'm trying to climb these hills, and people are just passing me. Like, I was that guy. So then I'm thinking, okay, so I come up through the aid station. Now I just got I got to go back on legs 1 and 2 back to the start. And man, it was brutal. Like, basically, like, everything was gone. There were a couple of hills where I was like, how am I even going to get up this hill? Like, that's how depleted everything was. And at that moment, I was like, okay, what the heck is going on here? This is now twice that I've had this happen, where last year in the Lost Soul Ultra, 50-kilometer race, same thing. Ripped the first 30 kilometers, felt amazing, and then just boom, just hit the wall, had to run walk, and horrible. I came in 11th, which was great, but man, I ran walk the last 20 kilometers. Like, what are you doing? Now I'm run walking the last 10 kilometers of this race. Like, I train all winter. I've been training for how many years, and I can't even complete a 32-kilometer race in my own backyard, like, without walking. What's going on here? So immediately my brain goes into, all right, this is no longer like some, one-off that happened last year where I went out too fast and blew my, this is now a thing. So I'm like, let's figure out what's going on. And then I was like, cop. There will be lots of time for you to dissect what went wrong here. You got to finish this race. Like, come on, man. So, I gave it all I had, and I brought my heart rate right down into the sort of the 140s. I got some food in me. Whatever, man. I made it back in 3:45 or whatever. Like, compared to, say, 2-3 years ago, it would have been a reasonable time for me. But I don't even know what place I came in. I didn't even look. I don't even want to know. Yeah. So, anyways. So where does the before and the after come in? So I started thinking about this afterwards, right? I get home. I'm like, okay, like, you got to sort this. You got to sort your life out, because yeah, you were rocking and rolling, baby. You had a great, that run was amazing. And really since then, not good. Like, not good. Like, so I'm like, okay. So I'm actually laying in bed one night. I think it was that night or the next night. And I'm thinking, I don't usually do that. Like, I'm not one of these people that like overanalyzes my life. I just, but I'm laying there in bed and I'm like, you gotta sort this out. So I started thinking about it. I'm not going to walk you through the process of how I figured this out, but this is what I figured out. First of all, I'm an idiot. I mean, we can all agree on that. But especially why this happened, and I'm not going to get into details, but it's so ironic. It is so ironic that this is how I screwed it up. Oh my God. So it has to do with outliers. And again, I'm not going to get into other areas of my life, but outliers are kind of like a big deal for me. And this was, yeah. So here's what happened. in any sort of business or anything in life, right? We understand to, kick out outliers. Like if you, what would be an example? If you own a restaurant and you always ordered in, you know, 30 prime ribs for Friday nights, but then all of a sudden one random Friday you could have sold 50. Well, the next Friday you don't order in 50. You kind of like, that was a one-off. That was weird. Like if it happens multiple times, okay, then maybe I'll start up in my orders. But just because one time, and we also have this, like, I don't know if it's like an evolutionary thing or whatever, but we can remember the outliers that like suit our narrative, and we discard the ones that don't. So in my example, right, I hit lightning in a bottle that day. That one race last year, Cactus Coulee Crawl 2024. That was just my perfect day. I hit lightning in a bottle. It was, who knows why. It was a total outlier, but there's a little bit more to it. But that was an amazing race for me. Now, the next race, Lost Soul Ultra, I totally hit the wall. Went out, same speed, or same effort, hit the wall. Horrible, showing. I don't remember that one going into this race. I don't remember that outlier. That was an outlier. But I sure remember this race. I remember the race of my life, and now that is the new standard that I am holding all of my races to. But it was a total outlier. It was just a lightning in a bottle day. Will it ever happen again? Maybe. But it was just an outlier day where everything just went perfect. So if for the rest of my days I'm going to hold myself accountable to that in every race, well then yeah, I'm going to fail every race. Every race is going to go horrible. And so that's the thing is, so when I look back on the last like 4 or 5 races that have gone just kind of not great, that is why. It's because I'm holding myself, like all of a sudden I think I'm like this Olympic athlete and I can, So the moral of the story is there's two more. Let me get into the second one here in a minute. But come on, man. Hey, remember that. That's awesome. Will it happen again? I hope it does. And but what I've got to do now is get so that I set my bar at that, like my average at that, not that one time I had that perfect day. And let me tell you something, like it was a day like you've never seen. Like it was just perfect. Like I remember being out there 2 hours in and just saying to myself, like, how is this happening? Like, how is this possible? And so the next year I'm like, I'm going to crush that. Idiot. So anyways, but here's the second thing, okay? And here's where there's sort of like the before and the after. Is as I got thinking about it, and I started thinking about all of the races I've had in my life, and the ones that went well, that one included, versus the ones that went poorly. There's one common factor in both of them. The races that went well, I let the day decide. The races that went poorly, I tried to decide. And so the new thing, like I'm not a tattoo person, but if I was a tattoo person, you know how people get those like sayings on their arms? My saying would be, the day will decide. That would be my thing. Because that's how I've got to come into these races moving forward. Forget all that stuff. And that's what I did on that day. I didn't go into that race where I hit lightning in a bottle and go, I am going to crush this. I remember it was a Saturday morning. I remember I showed up actually a little bit late and I didn't get a good parking spot. And so I kind of had to hoof it to the start. And no one was there that I even knew. And I was just kind of hanging out. Let's go for a run. And then all of a sudden I was like, man, I feel pretty good. And then I just was feeling great and I just ran great. I didn't go into that with any sort of like ambition or purpose. But since that race, I go into every race with this like, I'm going to crush this mindset. And then I get destroyed, right? Because the day's got to decide. And I think the real thing about that is the day too is going to decide when you have these bursts of energy. Like everybody knows, this is a standard ultra running sort of thing. Like people know this. I would say, hey, you got to run your own race. And I used to think you got to run your own race meant you've got to stick to your game plan. But I don't know. That's not how I interpret it now. I interpret it as you got to go out and let your body decide the day decide when you run. You know, maybe for the first leg, that's where you're kind of taking it easy, and then the second leg, you know, that's where you start to fly a bit, and you know, but the day's going to decide. Like you've got to let the day decide. And so, and I just got to get out of my head that I'm this like elite, you know, like, okay, yeah, Kyle, you came in 6th in one small little race in Lethbridge. Awesome, man. Like, we're going to put your trophy over there. Actually, I did get a cup before that. We'll put it over there for you, right? It'll be there forever. But like, just let's bring it down a notch here. And so that's the thing that I look at is, had I came out into that race and just had the same, you know, let's see how this goes. Like, I'm going to go out. I know the pace at which I can kind of go out. And there was a guy in the race too that I know reasonably well. And he comes, you know, on the second leg, like I'm like 170 heart rate, is like, wow. And I'm sure people who were around me were like, this guy's going to die soon. And he just comes like, we're going up this hill and I'm walking up this hill. And, like, oh, and he just comes just, oh, hey Kyle, how you doing? And I was like, oh, hey bud, how are you? He's like, good, man. He's like, oh, hopefully we don't get any rain. And I was like, well, yeah. And he's just like, and he had been behind me the whole time, you know, or quite a ways maybe, I don't know. And he was just cruising along. And then he did it in like just over 3 hours. Like, just kept his consistent little, you know, heart rate low. And that's the other thing I know about me too, is maybe everyone's like this, is if I jack my heart rate up at the start of a run, it's very difficult to bring it back down. Whereas if I bring it in low, it's almost difficult to get it high. So what the heck, man? Like, I had like, anyways, you know, you get the idea. So the new thing here is 2 things. Number 1, look, I'm not saying I'm not going to do amazing in races. I'm going to crush races, but the day's going to decide. I'm not going to decide. I'm going to go in there with the idea that, hey, you know what? These are kind of my range of goals, just so I have something in my mind, but the day will decide. And yeah. And the reason I say the day will decide and not the race will decide, because I thought about this. I thought, what about the race will decide? Because it's got to be the day will decide. Because let's say it is an overnight race. Well, by the time you hit the nighttime, the day is already decided the nighttime. Because how you ran the day, you know, if you don't decide much come nighttime. You're kind of in your flow state at that point. So ultimately, the day is going to decide the whole thing. The day is going to decide the race, your outcome, how you feel, what happens in the night, what happens the next day if it's a multi-day race. Like, the day is going to decide. And so have an open mind, go out there, and just be ready to adapt and adjust. And, you know, and again, this is like, everyone knows this stuff. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. I just got cocky. My ego got the better of me. You know, ego is the enemy. And one of my favorite sayings is, we often meet our destiny on the road we took to avoid it. And this is a absolute perfect example. Is I didn't want to do poorly in races, so I came out, baby, and I met my destiny, which was having a horrible race on the very road I took to avoid it. And so had I come out and just, you know, been a little bit easier going, maybe took, you know, 38 minutes to do, and that's the thing, like, we're not talking like these crazy amounts. If I would have taken 38 minutes to do that first leg, 3 minutes more than last year, I would have kept my heart rate low, probably in the like high 140s, low 150s. In fact, I'm going to go out and test that, because I mean, it's down the street. So this weekend I'm going to go run that and just see like where, like, let's say I come in at 38 minutes. What is my average heart rate? I bet you it's in the high 140s. So now I'm at, you know, total ease. I'm 3 minutes behind last year, but how easy is that to make up again? But maybe not, but you get the idea, right? So the day will decide. That is my new mantra. And I'm already looking forward to our next race. Is we got kind of a fast pack thing coming up, but then we're doing the Moose Mountain race and then 100-kilometer Lost Soul Ultra. I don't really want to think that far ahead, because like, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I still have this amazing summer ahead of me, and the races are kind of more at the end of the summer, so like those can wait. But coming into those races, yeah, it's like, have control what you can control. Have your fitness at its absolute peak. Have your nutrition at its peak. Have your weight at its peak. Control the controllables, and then let the day decide. And 9 times out of 10, the day is going to decide you're going to have a great race, but you can't force it. It's gotta happen naturally. So that was my before and my after. And let me tell you something. This day wasn't decided. Nothing. I was deciding for this day, and we all know how that turned out. So, anyways, that was my revelation. Thanks for if you made it this far. Thanks for listening, and yeah. Oh man, life is so fun. It's like you have these experiences, and oh yeah, and that's the other thing too. You have these experiences, and it's just like and then you have these sort of like revelations, if you will, and it's actually changed a lot of things outside of running too. Like I've been really busy at work recently, and yesterday I kind of just went in, and I got really organized before I went in. I had everything ready to go. And I just kind of said, like, hey, the day's going to decide. Like, if I go in and you try to force things, and so I kind of just had that mantra, hey, just get to work, get into things, and the day's going to decide. And I probably had one of my most productive days. I don't know. More to come on that, but the day will decide. So, all right. Thanks, everyone.